Alright, hello people. How's it going? Alright, so first off, we are going to go ahead and start with some algorithm-based stuff. So here you can see this bad boy. This is Algo Expert. It's good for practicing for technical interviews. Also just learning algorithms. So instead of using LeetNode to practice, I saw in a post that using this website helps you actually get a better grasp of the concept of the algorithms that these LeetCode questions all employ. So as you can see, I'm going down the easy ones and then going to work my way up through the middle, then to hard, then very hard. It does cost a good bit of money, so if that is the case, then try to find something like this on LeetCode. We're going to start with the middle node. Looks like I have already done it. Cool. We're going to go ahead and submit that. Go to the next question. So nth Fibonacci. This is always a fun one. Pretty common one getting tackled. So let's go ahead and read this out. The Fibonacci sequence is defined as follows. The first number of the sequence is 0, the second number is 1, and then the nth number is the sum of n minus 1 and n minus 2 numbers. Write a function that takes an integer n and returns the nth Fibonacci number. Important note, the Fibonacci swing is often defined as first two numbers f0 equals 0 and f1 equals 1. For the purpose of this question, the first Fibonacci is f0, therefore get 1 is equal to f0. Get 2 is equal to f1, and then so forth. So basically, really how this is going to work is a recursion. So we are given a integer representing a n for seeking the Fibonacci. I don't know how to spell that. Fibonacci number. So from, let's see, we are given seeking the Fibonacci number. What's it called? So the Fibonacci sequence is equal to f at 0, or f at 1 is going to equal 0. F at 2 is going to equal 1. And then after that, f at n is equal to the summation. We're just going to do a nice little z for that. Summation of n minus 1, basically. I think that's it. The sum of the n minus 1 and n minus 2 numbers. So basically, if we got f of 3, that is going to equal to, and there's a sum of the n minus 1 and n minus 2 numbers. So actually, let's visualize this out. So Fibonacci sequence images. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah. So it's going to equal to 1. And f of 4 is going to equal to 2. And then f of 5 is going to be 1 and 2, which is going to equal to 3. Then f at 6 is going to equal to 5. Let me make sure I have this correct. Fibonacci sequence, yep, that looks correct. Pretty simple, so just gonna take these two. So how do we do this? So return the f at n. So, some initial thoughts here. Alright. Initial thoughts, let's think this on out. So, we know f at 1 and f at 2. F at 1 is 0 and f at 2 is 1. So, we're going to need to keep track of these two numbers. So we're going to do, I think recursion is the way to go here. So we're just going to, let's see. So this is a static int, so we're going to turn, okay, let's see. How do we want to look at this? Okay, so if n is equal to 1, then going to return 0. If n is equal to 2, going to return 1. Alright. Else, if n is equal to 2, return 1. Else, alright, this is where we're going to put our return statement. Going to return, let's see here. This is not right. It's going to be summation. It's going to be n minus 1 plus n minus 2. So to get there, basically, if n equals 1, we return 0. N equals 2, we return 1. We're going to return get nth fib at n minus 1 plus get nth fib at n minus 2. Now if we do that, let's see what happens here. Probably not going to work. Oh, it works. That's as simple as that. Alright, sorry about that. So Fibonacci, very easy, simple. Just think of this like a function. Yeah, we're going to submit that. And then we're going to go compare our solution to their solution. So solution 1. pretty simple. The exact thing we just did. Solution 2. We're using memoization. So this is 2 in of time. So this is pretty poor. This is a pretty poor solution. Because that will just increase the amount of big O of time. Blanket. This is actually in of time. So dictionary is a memoization. We're adding that, so 2 equals 1, and then in memorize, and then let's see. So if we're inputting, so this is some basic overriding functions. So if we're given an n, then it will call this function. If we have a dictionary in there, call this function. So if it does not contain the key, okay, then we're adding stuff to, gotcha. But this is O of n of space, while this is still O of n of space. Interesting. Solution 3, O of n with 1 of space. So last 2 equals 0, 1. Int counter equals 3 if counter is less than or equal to n. Next fib is equal to last 2, 0 plus 1. Then increase the counter. Okay. So this is the optimal solution right here. So from now on, I definitely brute force thinking it is definitely not the way to do it. I wish this would tell me the big O of time, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah. Okay, there we go. So understanding how this works. So this is a linear time, meaning it will only it will take n amount of time. So that of course scales. So n can be any number. So if it takes 1, it will take 1 time. Where here would take 2 the 1 time, so it'd take 2. But you can kind of see how that can start exponentially increasing. This is going to be this is one of the worst cases right here. So if this was 3, this would take 3 time, but if this was 3, it would be 2 times 2 times, it would take 8 time, and so forth. So if n is greater than 1, then we give the last 2. If it gets to that 1, if not, it's last 2 at 0. Yeah, so that would make sense. So if n is greater than 1, last 2 at 0 is 0. If n is 1, or if n is 2, which is greater than L, okay, that's actually that's pretty interesting. I will say so myself. Alright, well, solution works. 2 of n, because we're calling this as many times as we can. Let me take off this jacket. Alright, well, let's hop into the game dev. I'm going to keep this open. And let's go here. Alright, back at it. So what we did last time is we established a zombie. And we created this nav mesh. It's not the size of the actual map because that would be too intensive. But what I wanted to do is be able to put him out here, and once he gets close enough to the nav mesh, he can enable the agent. But this is causing some unfortunate funky things, because what I'm thinking here is that once that agent is established, you get teleported to the nav mesh. Simple as that. Failed to create agent because the agent is not close enough to the nav mesh. Yep, makes sense. But if we put him a little closer, like so, we're going to see him basically jolt to the nav mesh. Okay. Yeah, see, that didn't work either. So let's get him a little closer. Like so. You can kind of see the border radius. So if we put him right here, maybe it'll work. Yeah, no, that didn't work. So if he's in here, in that radius, that little box where you see the nav mesh, let's see. Okay, yeah, he jumps like that. He teleports. Not the desired effect, obviously, but what I do think we can do, maybe, is, so you can see how this is working right here. Nav mesh is just basically a grid like that, and he is using just A star pathfinding. So if we go and interact as the player here, once we get in his aggro radius, he will actually turn us as the target and pathfind towards us. I don't know exactly how optimal this will be. Maybe not calling his, getting the player's position every frame. Maybe we should get it every, like, 5 seconds for him to start walking towards it. Because we'll just have to see how this works with multiple zombies. So, actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. So, first of all, we want to override. We don't want to revert all. Those are changes. So what do we have in the zombie controller? Goals, waffle machine. So that obviously can't be set. So let's actually copy and paste multiple of these bad boys. So now we have 4 zombies in our scene, and we're going to position these guys all around the map just to see how this pathfinding really works. Like so. Alright. And I also want to see how it's going to work when the player interacts. So we're going to keep it like this. Performance is actually not doing too shabby so far. And I do have somewhat of a good graphics card, but I do not have the greatest processor. Okay, so we can actually see like some highlighted things going on as we're moving around here. So we're going to start seeing these zombies come in. There's one. We got 2 people targeting me. Actually, 3 zombies now targeting me. But one's still going for the goal. Alright, so we're going to slap that guy. He's dead. Slap both of these guys. They die as well. And then we got another zombie. Okay, so for 4 zombies, actually, the performance is not too shabby. Oh, that guy just teleported away. Dead, dead, dead. Oh, good boy. Oh, God. So that could be something we might want to look into in a little bit. But for all intents and purposes, it's kind of working right now. The next thing I want to do is actually, because I want these zombies to come from a lot farther a distance away on the map. So what I'm going to actually do is grab our map, and this is how we bake the surface. I'm going to actually clear that, and you can see how we're handling that. Navigational ground and navigational static object as a layer. So I'm going to create actual little fluctuations like so that will create navigable ground. Because we don't want to create this whole map, especially when it comes to map, because this will be, for all intents and purposes, too what's it? I'm blanking here. It will be too big. So if I hit bake, it might actually not even work because we might be still going over the limit. So let's try hitting bake. Okay, yeah, so that worked. So you can see these nav meshes. I am curious. We're gonna see how this works. grab a zombie, and I'm gonna drag you all the way over here, good sir. And then I'm gonna grab you, drag you all the way as well. Because if I can make these maps, we'll have them walking down these lines every single time, but really, we can build a map and limit the player from not being able to go too far, and of course, later I might have to build multiple nav meshes that are enabled and disabled dynamically, but we want them to be able to come from far distances. So, since we're using Unity's navigational practices, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. So let's see what happens with this zombie, because I am very curious. Is he gonna... he might have to jump, or maybe we can link it. Okay, so he gets stuck like that. So it cannot be diagonal like that, since some of the objects are not working too well. I can't really tell how the performance is going in the scene. Oh, that is embarrassing. Look at that. I didn't even notice that the web browser was still up. Yikes. Okay, so yeah, this is what we just did, right here. Yeah, there we go. Jesus. So they're at the waffle machine. We're gonna have to add this to the layer that the attack script, the attacked zone can melee hitbox can interact with. So yeah, that's actually working. Look at that. Melee hitbox is rotating with them. So they'll start attacking and stop walking and trying to walk into it. But yeah, let's go ahead and bake up some more pathing. So we're gonna actually go here and go back to ground. And this is gonna be ground as well. We're just gonna build like a good... we're gonna deselect that guy. We're gonna put these guys to navigational ground. I'll turn that off. And we might build like just some links, you know, to the outside. Alright, here something's already been started. We'll do like so. Some just spawn areas. And this is gonna give us a little bit more time. And in fact, what we can even do is start rounding off some of these corners, because they're never going to really need to walk like that. If, like for instance, if we don't have any zombies spawning out here, there's no reason for them to be able to walk right here. Actually, that is a lie, because if anywhere the player can go is going to need to be navigational ground. But I kind of am now just going to see if I... oh, hey, how's it going, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if you jumped in the lounge. I actually think, yeah, no, wait. You did jump in the lounge, and I couldn't see your messages because the way I'm handling streaming, get prepared for Inception, is like this, but I have the chats pulled up right here, and this YouTube one actually was not working. So I couldn't actually see that, but I was able to find a workaround today. So that's good. So what we're doing right now is we are trying... remember yesterday how I was saying, like, I wanted the zombies to be able to spawn farther? So basically I'm just building these paths like this. That is the way for zombies to actually move instead of, like, teleporting them. So yeah, let me go ahead, back up to this map, and let's hope that this works. So we're going to clear this and bake that. Oh. Okay, see, there we go. Now we got some routes to go to our map that these zombies can take. I can't tell how this is going to... oh yeah, that'll definitely do it. But yeah, we were playing some Sea of Thieves, doing some shenanigans. My buddy bought a nice rainbow ship. But all fun, all fun. Back at it today. But yeah, I'm trying to now think about what we should be doing here. Because now that this pathfinding is working, it could be time to flush things out, aka debug the zombies. So I'm going to put these guys all the way, oh, not that. I made 4 just to test the nice good scene. We're gonna put this guy over here, all the way in this corner. And yeah, it looks like that will work now. Let's see how this is gonna look in our scene. So if I go here and highlight all the zombies, we can see them kind of move thanks to their colliders. So look at that. They are accurately pathfinding right now. And then we got one guy coming in through the back. One guy coming in through right there. Ooh, let's see why he didn't. I wonder why this guy didn't come through here. Maybe it's just actually optimal to go that way. But these guys should also, like, actively try to avoid each other. So they're getting here at around the same time. It doesn't look like they're going to have to avoid each other, but thanks to Unity's navigational system, it does look like they'll avoid each other. And even right here, this guy might... Yeah, he walked around and he's now just, like, going towards the object. Look at that. They're not clumping up together. That's really nice. In 2D, they don't have this navigation system, I think, and you'd have to code that all in yourself. So this is going to be a huge time saver. It might make the game, though, a little bit harder to run because you can't go in there and optimize it. Unity is a closed source, enterprise game engine. So the way it works, you can go in there and, like, override functions, but some of it's, like, you're not going to know how it works, and you can only interact with their scripting documentation that they gave you. But yeah, okay, so they're moving fine. One thing I know I want to do, let's go in here. We're going to go to their animation. I know I kind of don't want this to be any state anymore, because that is causing them to basically constantly be punching because they're coming from their own state to going from the punch state back to it, so it's causing that really fast, like, beating motion, which was all fun, but we should be able to configure that ourselves rather than having no control over it. So this is going to work. We're not going to have exit time. And we're going to add here going to is attacking is true. And this will actually have an exit time for man punch. Actually, maybe not. Because if we run away... Yeah, no, we'll have an exit time for the actual animation. Because... actually, I don't know if we want that or not. I think it'll start moving, so we're not going to do that. We don't want to transition from death. We do want to transition from walking, and we're just simply going to set is attacking to true. Turn off our exit time. And yeah, look at that. Death is okay. That's okay, like that. Yeah, let's see how that works now. And what we're going to do is as well go in here into our prefab again, our attack zone, go to the scene, go all the way over here, let's highlight the attack zone, yep, gonna go here, pull up our Visual Studio, oh, what's going on here? Oh, looks like it's off screen for some reason. Come on. There we go. Alright, attack zone. So if player, enter, if tag equals player, Okay. So there's that. Another thing we're gonna need is, let's go to the waffle machine and tag as goal and layers movable objects. So, and then we're just gonna do a or here, or other dot game object dot tag is equal to goal. And we want to add that as well to here. Yeah, that's pretty simple right there. Some other AI mechanics we can think of for the future is if he's a, what does the tag goal do? So this is going to, because like I was saying earlier, is that the zombies are going to also try to damage the goal. So if we go to this waffle machine right here, it has a damageable script right here. So we're going to eventually add another script, a goal script basically, and once it's not alive anymore, then that object's going to disappear, and that could be like kind of some of the objective in the game is like kind of like a tower defense, and that you're trying to protect it. Yeah, exactly. So let's see how that works. Let's make sure they start attacking our goal. I have to wait a little bit. I don't know. I love watching these things actually like work, you know? Like, earlier when I was trying to do this in 2D, I coded this all myself. And it's just like sometimes it's mesmerizing actually seeing them move. Like, I'm like, wow, you're actually like, you can actually see like the system's working and like what the code you're setting up working. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I love pathfinding algorithms. That's one of my favorite things about like searching algorithms to implement. Alright, let's see. Here we go. Nope. Okay, so why is that the case? So that's him. Trigger. Oh, that'll do it. Okay, so the problem is that this cube, it has the collider on it. That's where the box collider is. So if we set that to goal. Oh. I think we just broke things. So I'm going to also set this tag to goal right here. And for simplicity's sake, not going. And now I'm going to bring the zombie closer so we can see it right away. Wee. Okay. Now we're going to hit play. And now that should work because the actual collider, once he starts colliding with things. Okay, so he turns around. And there we go. He's punching it, but he did, oddly enough, start, like, rotate up. And he's also not going to be able to collide with that, so this is not actually taking any damage because the fist is like that. Let me try to not move him backwards, but move him backwards. Why are you rotated like that? Why did your colliders get rotated? Okay, sorry, I've got some text right now. Alright, we're good. Okay. I'm just getting some text. Been doing a lot of stuff for job applications recently. So why do you guys, elevate like that? That's my question. So if we move, not his thing, but if we move him away, he's going to start walking. And if we keep an eye on that, yeah, his nav mesh agent turns off. Which is so weird that his, like, you know, it's freaking, like, they angle up like that. Jeez, that's nuts. Yeah, you hate to see it, really. Some guys who probably don't even actually know how the internet works is telling everybody how, like, the internet should work. Oh, yikes. Well, hope they get it all fixed and running for you, so you can keep on the internet. Yeah. So I don't know, because these colliders, why are they rotated like that? What is actually rotating is my question. Go to aggro zone, rotation. So is it the actual male casual, or? That's that. He's up straight, but I think the... Yeah, they are dancing. I am so confused right now. Alright, let's go back and dive into this script. Zombie controller. Not zombie controller. Melee zombie controller. Okay. If agent is not on nav mesh, goal is not equal to 0, then we rotate towards the goal. Oh, okay. And we're gonna do and goal dot transform dot position dot square magnitude. Shit, what am I thinking? I want it to basically, if we're close to the goal, not rotate towards the goal anymore. So let's think. And goal dot transform dot position dot square magnitude minus transform dot position dot square magnitude is greater than, we're gonna say 1, because then it will rotate towards it, but because the nav mesh, he'll be turned off, so this will start returning false, I think. Then we'll actually rotate towards it. This actually might not need to be in there anymore since we're handling the nav mesh, so let me just try commenting that out, actually. Because, for instance, this is actually handling the rotations. This nav mesh navigational system is actually already handling the rotations, so let's see if that's gonna fix our problem. Okay. Yep, there we go. So now, if we go to zombie 3, go into male casual, go to the animator, going back and forth a lot. Why? So why is it constantly going like that? So that, we want that to 0, right? Maybe that. Oh yeah, that's what we wanted right there. That's the desired effect transition duration. Alright, now let's see. Is that actually... I think their fists are just going above the cube. So this is actually... I think I'm gonna... Since this is damage roll component, we're gonna add another collider to this. And have an is trigger. And set that up. And we're gonna do it like that. Okay. Stop that. Yeah, see, that's where that wasn't working, so we need to go actually back in here, go to male casual, go to our animator, set this transition duration to 1. Okay, that's saved, so the animator stuff saves. We're gonna add this box collider. We're gonna hit that like so, and this is going to be is trigger. So if we go into this attack zone, or not that, the melee zone, because that will have the actual neck, head, no, shoulder, right, yeah, upper arm, lower arm, palm, middle hand, fingers, and there's the melee hitbox. Let's go into that. So yeah, that needs to, they need to be grabbing. Oh, look at that. And we're gonna do an or other.gameObject.tag is equal to the goal. Bam. Alright, so now they're going to be able to damage our, what's it called? Oh. Our goal, waffle machine. Okay, so let's see that in action. There we go. What do you mean? What do you mean objects not set to a reference of the, oh, I gotcha. Because it is interacting with this. So let's try this, turning this off. Or cube. Let's try turning you off. But what we will is turn you off a trigger. So now we don't have a box collider actually on the cube. We have a box collider on the actual thing. Meaning that these guys still can't walk into it. Alright. Bam. 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 Alright, cool, look at that! They are able to interact with that. So, but I will say, right now, if I come over here, oh, look at that! So they're super focused on the waffle machine already. Get off my waffle machine. Yeah, die into the waffle machine. Just like that. Yeah, that's actually good. That's a good scenario, because we don't want them... Once they're attacking the waffle machine, we don't want them to stop, because that's... What's going on here? What you doing? Oh, this guy's... is not close enough. So this guy... These guys get teleported. Like so. That motherfucker just killed me. Interesting. So maybe we should expand their attack zone? Oh no. Why are they glitching out like that? I think it has to do with this, maybe? I actually don't know if we need this anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and comment this out. Oh, not like that. I will say that working with this nav mesh system can get a little confusing because I don't know exactly what's all going on since I didn't make it myself. But it's already pre-built and actually seems to be working for AI navigation correctly. So we're gonna go splat, and we're going to slap them. Slap them. Bam. You're coming this way, right? Slap. You're dead. Okay. Where's the other guys? Oh, they're right here. So what happens if you... So why are you glitching out like that is my question. And that guy didn't glitch out. Maybe because he's still trying to walk towards the middle transformed opposition, and he's getting collidered. So let's go. Now this is the fun part, debugging stuff. We're just gonna go out here. See if this bad boy, yeah, he changes his thing, gets aggroed. So yeah, I think that's caused because they're still moving until they actually like get really close to me. So we're going to actually go in here and increase our attack zone, just by a little bit. Because then that will make sure that they stop quicker, so the faster they stop, the more or less that they're not going to start glitching out like that and keep trying to move into our collider. And this is only a temporary fix. I think eventually what's going to be the way of doing it, and I've seen other little shorts, other game devs do, is, oh, look at that, get hit. Got to make sure that the goal is excluded from our actual damage. So if we go over here, where's our bad little zombie guy over here? Yeah, changes directions. Go over here. Start attacking a lot quicker, like so. And of course, this like attack range is not going to be perfect for the animation, because. What's it called? We're not also going to use this model for the zombie, so should be something I might do in the off time is set up or try to find another zombie model, or maybe even buy one. I might have some in mind, but yeah, let's see that. So for now, we're going to go back into here, go all the way down again. Wish the bone structure started. Yeah. Melee hitbox. Let's go find that. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger, just for now. It's a pretty big melee hitbox, but if he's punching you, then you're going to need to get hit, so there we go. I shouldn't be focusing on trying to make things perfect right now. I should just be focused on making working systems and then build the art and assets around the working systems. So we're gonna go put you back all the way over here, buddy. Because you guys are all but done now. So let me pull this bad boy up. Get the game design doc out. And check that off the list. So we got a nav mesh actor, switching nav mesh on and off, and the animations seem to be working okay. Alright. Fix bugs. I'm going to say that's fixed for now. I haven't seen anything really finicky yet. Let's just do some more testing. We're going to actually just put them all within range. I'm going to uncheck that. No, we don't want to move the grass. We want to move all the zombies. Come on over here, dude. Last but not least, you. Alright. Player, I'm going to give you a max health of 100 and set your health to 100 as well. So we can just watch the chaos unfold as these guys try to kill us. Make sure everything's working all right. Okay. Oh, and I'm dead. They killed me pretty quickly. And this is actually in this animation. Remember that old zombie? I actually had the bite animation they had. This is where, or like the, like on the ground feeding. This is where we put that just for vision's sake. But yeah, so that is actually working. They seem to be working fine now with a little bit larger colliders, being able to switch on and off between that. Let's see, what am I thinking of now? Okay, cool. Crap, we're back up to par, baby. I love to see it. So this is where I have no idea what to do next. We're gonna put our zombies back out here. So, we're going to go ahead and put these guys right here. We'll have one coming in through the back. We're gonna have a little playtest. Just very basic. So I'm gonna put this game object out here, put it back up here. Now we have a full screen. All right. See how everything works. I'm actually going to go into the player. Armature, bone, body, hips, abdomen, torso, shoulder, upper arm, lower arm, palm, middle hand, fingers, weapon slot. We're going to splat, and we're going to decrease the damage to 3. Because that's what I had it set to 10 for their health at that case. Alright! Hey! You're already there. 1, 2. Oh, you are already damaged. 1, 2. Oh, let's see. How much... That's the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. He collided with his own zombie. And now he's tweaking out. Oh, I see why. So when he enables and disables... So 7, 3, 1. Bam. You're dead. Cool. So yeah, once they die, we probably want to disable their colliders, which would make sense. Because they're not actually on the nav mesh as obstacles, so they're going to still try to walk through each other. So we'll go in Melee Zombie Controller. And if is live, then we're going to actually set trigger. Nation. Damageable agent. We're going to do... So if we go into zombie, actually, a rigid body and capsule collider, that's actually the non-trigger. Aggro zone, trigger. Attack zone is a trigger. So if we go ahead and have a private protected collider, not 2D, hitbox collider. We're gonna do a hitbox collider equals get component, not actually in children because we don't want to do that. Collider, not 2D. Alright, and then in here we're gonna actually turn off hitbox collider equals enabled equals false. So when they're dead, you're going to be able to walk over their bodies, basically. And we're just going to want to set their transform dot position. We're going to want to set their RB dot gravity. Use gravity equals false. So actually, we're going to want to basically disable their use of gravity as well, because we don't want them falling through the floor, because their collider will be turned off. So yeah, let's see how that works now. So they were actually having problems with me. They were having problems with each other, because while their nav mesh is active, while they're attacking, and we disable their nav mesh. So maybe there's a way to just disable movement, like disable their path, instead of disabling their actual component. Alright, hello there, dude. Slap. You just completely vanished as soon as I slapped you. Slap you as well. And you're falling through the floor, of course. Okay, so yeah, that means hitbox collider. To use gravity is still being applied, so they're still falling through the floor. Rigid body, use gravity. Freeze position. We're gonna freeze for their position Y, because that just a test. Just a test for now. So we're gonna go in here, and actually in here we're just gonna set RB dot freeze position, not rotation. Is there a way to freeze position? RB dot move position, add explosion force, add force, closest point out of bounds, compared to constraints, detect colliders, exclude lasers, freeze rotation, game object. Initial tensors is sleeping, moves. We're actually gonna, you know what we can do? Just disable RB dot not game object dot enabled equals false. Not the game object dot component. RB. Why can't we disable? Using visual scripting. Interesting. That's quite interesting. Oh. Hitbox collider equals true. So we're gonna say we're just gonna actually just set the RB dot position dot y is equal to 0. Why can't? Because it's not a variable. I'll return. RB dot position equals transform dot position dot x comma 0 comma transform dot position dot z. We're just going to do a vector, a new vector 3. That, no wait, actually we want to freeze our z, right? We want to freeze our z because y is not the same here, right? No wait, I feel like I'm being an idiot right now. Okay, let's see. In zombie. We want 0.12. Yeah, so we want 0.12. And we want transform dot position dot z. F. Okay. And we're back to having the one-hit kill spatula. 2. Alright, get our spatula out. I need to actually disable this cursor. We could always disable this cursor object because it will stay there. We just disable the sphere. So let's run over here. Okay, you come over here because this seems to. Alright. You ready? Bam! Still falling. So let's see what happens in the scene here. If we turn off use gravity. Okay. So actually, what I'm thinking now is we're just actually disable the use gravity right here in their prefabs and get rid of this. For some reason, I don't know why the use gravity was turned off. So we're gonna do rb.use gravity. We can turn it to false, right? Why wasn't that? I don't know. We actually probably don't need gravity in this game because we're not actually ever jumping. Like, I'm having them not be able to jump, basically. The player, I don't think I'm gonna need him to jump either. Or maybe I'll let him jump. He can have gravity, but the zombies are definitely never gonna have to jump. They're always gonna have to move around or crawl over things, and that would be its own like animation link thing with the pathfinding. Let's go back here. Over to archery. Come here. Yeah, you come here. You come here. Yep. Slap. There we go. And his collider's turned off. Look at that. That's always good. Alright, let's go defend our waffle machine. Oh no! Slap! Slap you both. Come on. Alright. And slap you as well. Bam. The colliders are disabled. You can walk over their bodies. Alright, cool. Perfect. So that's some minor bug fixes. I'm sure we'll run into some more. And I'll have to look those out, but I'm gonna just update this and call this fix. Any minor bugs fix. Damn. And bam, navigation, navmesh navigation for enemies checked off the list. Okay, cool. Love to see it. Now next up, let's see. Alright. And I'm just gonna go also ahead and preemptively create, not on the cube, on the actual waffle machine itself. I'm gonna add a goal script. Don't really know exactly what we're gonna need that for. But that is gonna just go there. Move up. Oh, obviously the goal script is gonna be for deleting that object, or disabling that object. Basically. Or like, yeah, deleting the object once it's health, or like having some animation where it blows up and you have to like fix it and all that, because you probably don't want it gone. Some preemptive, reload this, preemptive measures I'm thinking of is in our handle movement, or we're gonna do if goal equals null, then we're going to get a goal. Because once that goal is destroyed, then they'll stop walking towards it, so we'll need to get another goal. So if goal equals to null, because that once we delete the object, it will get set to null, because that reference will get deleted. And we'll need to get another goal. There's just some small error handling. I like the way we have this set up. A nice zombie controller top level script. We able to apply that to like range, maybe some speedsters, maybe some tanky zombies. I don't know. We've got melee controller. Yeah, so it looks like some of this good stuff is settled up. Handle rotation doesn't seem like it needs to even be called right now. Handling movement is basically just switching back and forth between the goal and a target if we are join it. Aggro zone, what we can do is on trigger enter. We're going to do a private void on trigger exit. If other dot game object dot tag is equal to the player, then we're going to just set the zombie controller's target to null. And here, that will disable it, and so we can go back to things. So now we can leave their aggro zone, and they'll start pathing back to the goal. But I will say what I'm thinking for that as well is we can always create another trigger collider on the zombie. The aggro zone, we can do a de-aggro zone, and we're just probably just gonna have to, make a de-aggro zone script, which is actually that trigger, and it would be a little bit larger because once the zombie sees you, you would expect them to keep chasing you for a good bit, even if it's like before they saw you. So there's something we can do, but I kind of feel like I want to change focuses real quick. And let's start brainstorming. So Gold Waffle Machine, we're checking that. So back up to par is done. I am pretty happy with that. Very nice. Okay, so let's bring that back up. So love seeing this. Love seeing it's a nice check mark. So new milestone. Now this is where I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do here? I'm just gonna name this back to Waffle. So, some things off the top of my head is, let's go ahead and pull that back up actually, and we're gonna go to a jot down area. Jot down. Needs. Some just high level needs. We're gonna insert table. Just like, actually, we don't even need that. We're gonna need a little checklist. So we need UI. Oh, welcome back. What I was just saying is, it looks like we're back up to par. I had this all in 2D, so now it took me actually not too long to get everything set up and 3D. I'm liking using 3D so far. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to start accomplishing next. We're gonna need so let's do needs right here, and we're gonna need game basic systems. So right here we need UI, sound effects, music, for gameplay. We're going to need a wave system, time system, currency, placeable objects, and snapping in a grid. Only placeable in diner. Few exceptions. Righty. More weapons. So more weapons. We're gonna need a ranged. We'll do grenades. This is just high level. Only placeable in diner. Yes. So some of these placeable objects we go in here. We're gonna want them to only be placeable in here. There's gonna be a few exceptions. And for instance, we also only want these obstacles probably be placed in this nav mesh area. And this is not the final map or anything. This is just a sample test area. I know eventually I'm probably going to have to start dealing with multiple nav meshes, because we're going to want to, the main room. Just a diner right here. Full kitchen here as well. We'll have some other things to think about. But we're just going to take this one step at a time. I'm kind of just listing out everything. And actually, I might have listed out a good bit of stuff already. It's been a while since I've used this. Right. So for the proof concept, and it wants kitchen zone, table zone, entrance zone, placeable objects, utility characters, some zombies, in-depth breakdown. Okay. We're gonna go back down here. Just some stuff to jot down and see. Yeah, inventory system. Good call. Inventory system. No, we're definitely gonna have an inventory system. Well, at least ways to have an equip slot. Because I think what I want to do is be able to have them be able to equip maximum of 3 weapons. Let's say melee, ranged, and then some throwable object. Food system too. Yeah. Oh, healing objects. You're right. Healing objects. Next up, we're gonna need some more enemies. We'll do heavy, ranged, speedy. Just kind of like so. So we're gonna do back here. Assets. Acquire more. Need zombie. Special zombies. Okay. So here we go. Here's a good list of to-do stuff. Maybe something like running too. Yeah. So that's where the speedy ones come into play. So I'm gonna take this, and we're gonna do milestone 1. Core gameplay more fleshed out. Alright. And let's set a target. A target date to complete this by, because this is now, we're getting into the front of the thing. Oh yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. Basic gameplay systems, UI, sound effects. Let's flesh this out a little more. Main menu, pause, death, health bar, current equipped items, saving. That's something we're not going to focus on in this milestone currently. We're going to flush out these systems and have that in mind, like a save system. Basically, there's a lot of ways to handle save systems. Let's do a Unity 3D save system. Best way to save a system in Unity, save system. So, wouldn't recommend player prefs. So that's one option. Small amounts of data. Using JSON with encryption and decryption, creating classes that represent your data, write them in JSON, read them from JSON. So that's going to be a whole thing. Yeah, we will have saving systems, but I think the saving systems actually, the way I'm thinking about it is some inspiration from this game is kind of Call of Duty Zombies as well. I love their core gameplay loop of round waves, get better weapons, open up the map a little bit. So kind of some inspiration there. Yeah, exactly. JSON serializing and deserializing, storing that. Definitely want to encrypt it. So actually, this depends. I know eventually, I'm going to get all the single-player stuff incorporated and kind of do what Project Zomboid did and flush it out into multiplayer. This game's going to be a 4-player multiplayer game with local couch co-op as well, so I have to think about that, but this is some high-level stuff. What we want to focus on right now is getting some core systems implemented and refining. So Milestone 1, core gameplay fleshed out, target date, This is a lot. Yeah. Well, it'll be basic. It won't be anything crazy. I mean, basically just encrypting the JSON file and then knowing exactly how we did it and decrypting it whenever Unity needs to use it. Because the save file's only going to really be read on startup. Because once you read that, then you load all the settings with it already. So yeah. So current equipped items, health bar, maybe basic inventory. That's gonna be pretty. That's gonna be pretty hefty. Wave number. Time of day. Because basically how it works. Oh, not as an anti-cheat. Because I'm not really too focused on anti-cheat because this is not going to be like a public server game. If you're cheating in my game, it's probably because you want to cheat and like break the game, which kudos to you, dude. You created some cheat and it's kind of like in a way a mod. So thanks for creating a mod. But this is going to be a game mainly for playing like with your buddies or with your friends and whatnot versus, you know, playing online with like random people. Like, we're not going to have a big server where it's going to be really desirable to cheat. Like, we might have a public leaderboard, but if someone gets in a crazy high number, then we can always take them down, or we can think about that when we get there. But I don't even think might have a leaderboard, because it kind of defeats the purpose. Okay. Oh, you mean very easy? It might not be too easy. I mean, but basically what we're taking is just going to take all the data, probably store it in a string, and then like encode that string using some encoder, which I've never actually personally really dabbled with like encoding and encryption and that, so that might be something fun to mess around with. But yeah, so sound effects, we're going to want, I don't know how we're going to do sound effects. I can always record some stuff with a microphone and put it here, but we're going to want a weapon sounds, zombie sounds, let's see. Yeah. I honestly, I actually don't even know what you're, like, subspace. I don't really actually know what that, does. Well, basically, the only really thing I was, like, the way I'm doing it is, because you can write to a JSON file, is we'd use so we take all that data into a script, like a save script, when you press on the UI. And basically, we're just going to take all the data we want, put that into a string, and probably just use any form of, like, basic string encryption. Nothing crazy. Oh, hello, Chronix. I appreciate the sub. Yeah, how you doing, dude? Welcome to the game dev stream. We are currently fleshing out some stuff. I am building a little, like, kind of zombie survival-ish, like, wave system type of game. We actually just completed getting back up to par, and we're fleshing out some basic ideas. But yeah, appreciate you being here, dude. Okay. Let's get back to it. So we got weapon sounds and zombie sounds. We're probably gonna need... Yeah, absolutely. No, I can absolutely understand where you're coming to, dude. Really, the best advice I can give you, how I started pushing myself to get motivated, is open it up and just focus on one thing a day. That's all you need to do for starters. Just focus on one thing a day. For instance, when I was getting back up to here, I downloaded some assets and I made this basic environment right here. It took a little bit longer than I want, but being able to visually see it like come together was definitely a big motivator for me. And then if we go back here, and then made the diner outline, so I made the diner. Then the next day, went to the player character, did the basic movement, just made basic walking. I didn't even put animations in there. And then the next day, I started looking into using the animator controller. So if we go to player, all right, here, I started setting up this, and I only started with idle, walking, and running, and I actually didn't even incorporate running. The next day, I incorporated sprinting and changing that to animation. Then the next day, basic combat, some punch mechanics, then I focused on equip mechanics, and slowly but surely, you're going to start building that up. And you're going to visually start seeing that really work out. And also, don't be afraid to go use free assets. I know sometimes, like, the way I learned is, like, use your own assets, make your own assets. Go use those free assets. You don't have to, your art does not have to be your end product. You just want something that, for me, I wanted to make sure I could look at it and, like, it looks like it's correctly working. So I spent, like, $20 on some environment asset packs and found some free 3D models, and just kept one day at a time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour out of my day, treating it like an exercise. And then I started this YouTube channel to start live streaming me doing it. That's also been a very big motivator. So if you're also interested in making videos or live stream at all, I would highly recommend like recording yourself doing it and just talking it through, because that has helped me a lot in coming up with stuff. So yeah, we're just fleshing out some really like core gameplay mechanics to kind of target of what to do, because right now, back up to par, we have some zombies using a nav mesh system that can they can walk. They go to the goal, if this, which is this little thing right here. But if the player jumps into their aggro zone, which is this guy right here, then they'll start pathing to the player, and then they get into a attack zone, start attacking, start running away, re-enable walking away. Some very basic, very basic stuff, but that's what you should focus on right away. It's just getting the most basic things you can think of into that game, and then now if you get to the point where I'm at exactly right now, you get to start thinking of other things to do. So what you can expect from this stream is basically everything we're fleshing out right now is one thing a day. And sometimes you'll even see that after you do that one thing, it might not take you as long, and then you're like, you know what, might as well do something else as well. It is very daunting when you hear people like they're working on it like 5 hours a day, or they're spending their whole weekend. You don't need to get started like that. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, very nice. You've actually made more games than me, and that's my honest recommendation for that is you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make errors. I do it all the time. I have a little short on there where I spent like 30 minutes on an error, and turns out I was just setting its position to 0, 0, 0 instead of setting its velocity to 0. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. And in fact, that's why early access exists too. Like, once you get to that point, you have to have testers. Like, you can't test everything yourself as well. So it's okay to make mistakes, just grow from them. Slowly but surely, keep making stuff. It's very important to keep yourself occupied making stuff. Don't focus on making something successful. Focus on making something that you would enjoy. If you play games with your friends, focus on making something that you could maybe sit down with them and play as well. Do something that you enjoy. Don't make something for money. Make something that you yourself want to make. So we're going back to fleshing out everything. Sound effects. We got weapon sounds, zombie sounds, movement sounds, music. We're just going to have one main menu track, one downtime track, and one wave track. Just for simple stuff right now. And I'm either going to go out, find some free resources, like, for instance, the actual music you're hearing in the background is, this is actually a pretty cool tool. Let me pull this on up for you guys. This is called Lo-Fi Generator. So if you're interested in videoing and streaming or something and whatnot, this is free. You can buy tracks for like a game or something. So if I had a jukebox or something like that, I could buy free tracks and use it. But this is all generated, actually, just through AI. Is my basic understanding, at least. But yeah, so the sounds, something I'm going to focus on probably last. This is probably the last stuff. UI is important. That's always not too fun, but we're not going to make this UI look good. We're just going to make it work and then focus on looking it good later. Alright, so core gameplay. Wave system. I know I want 5 waves per downtime. Time system. Downtime equals day. Waves equal night. So if we go into here, we're gonna use URP. Currency. Ooh, here we go. Another thing I just thought of. Inventory system. Store system. So currency. Rewards for completion of waves. Or we could do / enemies killed. Placeable objects. Snapping in a grid, only placeable in dire. View accessibles. One thing, obstacles. We want pre-placed and purchasable. Max amount. Set that. Few exceptions, to be determined. Weapons. So we want more weapons, ranged, we want melee. Let's just do, with the theme of the game, I'm gonna write this out, pan, maybe a sword, or a kitchen knife. And yeah, we'll just set that, 2 things. Ranged, we're gonna do a, let's do a gun for now, why not? Grenades, grenade. Simple as that. We don't need to, right now, we're really just focusing on fleshing out some very basic stuff that I can start focusing on, and this is why it's milestone 1. Do the Rusky dagger that gives the enemy. Actually, that's a good idea, but that is a milestone 2 type of thing. So right now, I just want to put in all these other things, and for instance, after the kitchen knife goes in and we're kind of done with all this stuff, I could go down to milestone 2 and add a variation. So inventory, basic, 5 or 3 equip slots, can have more things. Store system, buy other weapons, / placeables, / oh, here's another thing. Oh, / healing objects. We're gonna want a small, medium, and waffle. Waffle's gonna be the best, obviously. More enemies, heavy, range, speedy, simple as that. Assets, acquire more, simple as that. Zombie, special zombies, more. I'm not even gonna put that here. I'm just gonna literally put acquire more because we're gonna need assets for every single one of these things. Alright, so that is some of the core gameplay mechanics fleshed out. So let's set a target date. So this took, the backup to part took me, took around, I say 3 weeks, and that's me starting off slow. This stream is going to help me really flush this out. It works at least probably 2 hours a day on this. So we're going to set a target date. Let's see some of this stuff. Like these more weapons, since we did make it componentalized, this is kind of the farce I've ever gotten in game dev. Like I flush out the core game systems and never actually start expanding on it. Since we already have this weapon script, it should be as simple. Like some of these weapons probably will only take like 20-30 minutes to set up. But the ranged weapons, for instance, that's going to be a whole different ball game, which that might take a whole day or even 2 to set up. So that is definitely going to be interesting. So let's set a target date. Today is almost the end of January. So let's say around 3 to 4 months. And give your, like, what I like to do is, it probably won't take me 3 to 4 months to get this all implemented, but give yourself some padding. You never know what can come up. Life can happen, and I want to make sure you start flushing everything out. So target date is, let's see, 3 to 4 months from now. We'll say May. I'll just say May now. May 2025. Then milestone 2, adding more fun stuff. And then milestone 3, we're gonna do optimization / artwork improvement. Alright, so there's that. I'm gonna actually remove these. Delete that row, delete that row, delete that row, delete that row. So we have a little idea of where we're heading pre-release. So the basic concept, as I know I'm saying this is 3D right now, but we're going to basically be using 2.5D, I think that's the proper term. We have, if we look at the camera in the game, we have an orthographic camera, and I actually want to use some type of shading system to basically alias everything and make it really pixely. Like I want it to kind of look like a pixel art game. So that is probably going to be part of our 3rd milestone. Artwork improvement / shader implementation, because that's going to be a lot of work for sure. Alright, so now we have some things to work towards. 1 thing a day. And I will be live streaming me implementing most of these things. I'm learning a lot as we go. I am probably junior level when it comes to development, and a novice when it comes to artwork. Some of the times we might be jumping in to make our own assets. Like for instance, I'm pretty sure I want to make my own waffle because I don't really want to have to pay someone for a waffle. Or that could just be my own little take on it too. But yeah. Let's go. Alright, let's choose something to work on for the remainder of today. Let's see. I mean, we could always start with getting the unfun stuff started. The UI. I think that's probably where we'll start. Okay, cool. UI, always fun. So we're still in our sample scene. That's where we're going to flush out most of this stuff. Make sure we save here. Overrides. We're going to go ahead and apply all. Do we have any overrides here? What do we have here? Oh. Yeah, we have a waffle machine. But what's in the rigid body is my question. Use gravity. I don't know. Alright. Back to it. We're going to go ahead and create UI. Canvas. We're going to call this, basically, the UI. Layer, UI, untagged. We're going to call this, we don't need to tag it. Okay, so this is where the fun thing. If you've never worked with the canvas in Unity, it's an extremely large thing. Render mode, screen space overlay, target display. There we go. Graphics render, blocking objects. So what do we want to start with? Probably something to tell us our health. So I have done this before in a game. Let me go ahead and for the stream, I want to start implementing it. So we're going to do a Unity 3D UI health system. Alright, so I'm trying to implement health onto the player and then use the same code as well as enemy's health. I'm trying to figure out best and most effective way to create the health system so I can easily health change handler. Okay, this is some pretty good stuff right here, but actually, what we might do here is go look into some of my old code from another project. Minimap or inventory would be nice. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I'm going to do a minimap because the actual map size is going to be like a closed box in the final game. Inventory, yeah, that will be definitely implemented, but that's going to be implemented a little bit later because I've never actually done anything with an inventory system before. Just like some small equip stuff. But we're going to go in, not here, we're going to go back into here, and we're going to go actually into, okay, hold on one second, I got to actually go into my desktop here, which has some personal stuff. Unity, and we're going to go into our roguelite. So before this, I actually started experimenting with the 2D roguelite, which is pretty basic. I might show that off one day. But we're going to actually launch up a script here that I wrote. If you have old code, it's okay to be using it. Utility, agrozone, tag, come strings, death fade. Okay, let me see. I feel like I should have something tied here. So this is the old base player controller. You'll actually see some documentation here. So we got a death menu, on player death, a slider dash cooldown slider. So we're actually handling here, what's it called? Some of these things, like, okay, handling that in that update move player, update sprite animation. Yeah, you can see the fun with working with 2D here. Get out of there. There's a def menu script here I'm seeing. Pause menu. Spawn controller. How's my old damageable script looking? I don't even think I have one. Yikes. Resources. New scripts, that's it. Your next game will be 2D for sure. It's a lot of fun. I like working with pixel art a lot, but just with the nature of isometric games, it's kind of hard to set up a bunch of things, because you are, in reality, like, manipulating a 3D environment tilted to a, tilted to the side in 2 dimensions. So, for instance, like, if I were to face one way and throw, let's say, a grenade one way, then that would be a completely, probably different, like, math, like, algorithm maybe than drawing it forwards and drawing that onto the screen. Well, at least that's what I think. But you never know. Alright, here's the actual one. I forgot I broke down the old scripts and the new scripts, so you can actually see some documentation, how I like to document stuff here. So we have, I think, I'm trying to remember how I do this. Let's see. Weapon controller. Oh, here's the Health UI script. Okay, so here we go. So right here, this is some basic Health UI. I think I started out with. We have a number of hearts, so that's the number of hearts. I like doing half hearts and stuff, and we just tie sprites to here. So we have an image list of hearts, and I'm actually going to basically tie this to, so that's just tied actually to the player, it looks like, which is actually not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is like so. So we're going to create a, create an empty, and we're going to call this health UI. Alright. Go here. And we can see this right there. So next up, I actually already have some pre-made heart assets that I made a while ago. Let's look at that. So if I go here, back to assets, art, and we're gonna make a new folder, and we're gonna call this UI and 2D sprites. Okay, and I am gonna just drag a nice little sprite sheet in there. So here we go. This is the sprite sheet. I made these hearts in a sprite. If you are doing pixel art for your 2D game, I would recommend Aseprite. It's a very useful tool. Okay, filter mode, we want point. When working with pixel art, you want that as point. Texture shape, this is 2D. Interesting. Texture 2D. This is not a texture 2D. This is a sprite. Might have something to do with, you see, try dragging the sprite in there. Discard. Yeah, that's not working. So delete. This is, it's saying it's a texture because we're in 3D right now. Point, input texture. This is not a texture type. Interesting. Discard. We're going to delete this. And we're going to try to file. Let's see. Assets. Import new asset. Interesting. Let's just do... We're going to look this up. Unity 3D import sprites for UI. Okay. Put you guys back up. Import an image into the assets folder and change its texture type to sprite 2D and 3D. So I might have just fucking blanked. That tends to be the case. So there we go. Texture type. Yeah, that's it right there. I am an idiot. Sprite mode, multiple pixels per unit. I think this was 16. Mesh type, tight. Graphics site installs. Rendered in Windows not available because Sprite 2D package is not installed. I'm going to go ahead and do that because we are going to be using a lot of 2D sprites since it is kind of going to be a pixel artist type of game. Alright. The packages are installing right now. Oh, there we go. And if you're wondering why it's blurry, that's where I was talking about the point. Apply that. Let's open Sprite Editor. There we go. Alright, we're going to slice this up and by cell count, because it's only for 4. Oh, not 4. 2. 2. Slice. Bam! Alright, so we have a heart. Heart. We're going to say heartful. Heart. Half. And then heart. Empty. Okay. And apply that. Okay, cool. It's basic sprites. Save that. Alright, cool. So now if we open that, we have our heart sprites right here. So if we go into UI, let's see. Go up here, like so. Place that there. And basically what we're gonna do is drag these on there, which is, where are you? Why are you right there? Now we're gonna go back up here, and we're going to put you at 0, 0. And you're very small, so we're going to scale you back up to 12. Not 12. We're going to scale you back up to 1. You flat right now. Scale, we're going to put 10, 10, 10. So if we look at that, why is our canvas not overlaying? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, okay. It does seem to look like it's a little bit different. So let's put, why are you not, we're gonna put you in the middle. I'm gonna put you right in the middle. Not like that. See if you pop up in the game window. No? Not at all? So that's kind of gonna be the desired effect eventually, but... Dude, what is going on? Alright, we're gonna try deleting this thing again. Okay, so we can create an image right there, like that. Create an image. Canvas, image, bam. Okay. So, we're gonna actually just add an empty, and we're gonna call that health. And we're gonna put that below, like so. And we're gonna set 0, 0, 0. And we're gonna put the image source as our heart. So now, the heart is in the middle of the screen. Always interesting. Heart. Do heart like so. Bring you on up. Or no, we're gonna bring our health UI all the way up here. And we're gonna make you your heart 50 by 50. So we don't want it too big. Ooh, that's... Oh, okay, I get it. I'm facing the wrong direction. Because everybody knows your health is supposed to be over here. Like so. Okay. And let's see how that looks. One heart up there. Not too shabby. Okay. So now we're just going to copy and paste that. Move them on over. Copy, paste. No, not the canvas. And we're gonna want 5 hearts because I like using, what's it called? Half hearts as well. That's why we have that error. Okay, so let's go to attach this, and we're gonna do a new health UI script. And I'm going to base this off of this health UI script that I wrote for a roguelite. So yeah, let me pull this bad boy on over here. And let's get this set up. And I will walk you guys through that if you guys are curious. Reload that instance and get that on set up. Alrighty. Scripts. Let's find our health UI. Okay, so what we need is to start is some variables, some basic variables. We're going to want to access the number of hearts. So we're going to need an amount of hearts, so a number of hearts. We're going to need instance of the damageable object. So actually for what I'm going to do is a game object and attach the player. Like so. Public. Alright, we're going to do a private. Damageable, or we're just going to call this a player damageable, and in the start we're going to do a damageable is, or no, damage, or player damageable, because I'm being weird. It's equal to get player dot game object dot, or wait, that's already a game object, player dot get component damageable. Like so. So now we'll have access to the player's damageable component. And we could even, if we wanted to, not even have to tie the player in on the inspector. We could search that out. But for now, I am going to be attaching the player to the script manually, but we can always come back later. That's the joy of making our own thing. So next, we're going to need a public image array of tying to our hearts, and this is going to require us to include using unity.ui, okay, and then a public, and we're going to need access to the sprites we want, so sprite, and do a full heart, and a half heart, and empty heart. And this we're just going to drag in and give it access to. Alright, so next up, we have our damageable component, and let's see. Okay, so here we're actually using, in our damageable, a Unity event. So if you have never used Unity events, they are pretty simple to set up. It's actually, I think, a Unity action. So I'm going to go in here. Like so. Let's see. So we have a, in our damageable, a public event Unity action, and we're going to call this a damageable hit. So basically what this is going to do is every single time we get hit, it's going to push out a Unity action. Let me go ahead and import that using Unity events. So let's see. We actually, in this script, I have a damageable hit.invoke every time the health gets set. But basically what we're going to do is right here, we're going to do a damageable hit.invoke. And make sure that's equipped. Like so. And if we go back to our health UI, we're going to set up a listener right here. So a damageable dot, or player damageable dot damageable hit plus equals update hearts UI, and you may be wondering what that is. That is actually just going to be another function that we're creating right now. So generate a method. All right. So let's go ahead and go through this. So we're gonna updated hearts UI, and we're gonna actually, come on now, updated hearts UI, call that as well. Seems to be what I'm doing right here. Alright, so we'll also do a private on destroy. Destroy, we're going to basically unassign our damageable hit. It's going to minus that. So this is going to deactivate our listener, because obviously if the UI ever gets destroyed, then we want to turn off that listener, because that could cause some pretty wonky things and performance issues, as well as some good errors. Some nice red text you'll see in the console. Never like to see that. And then finally, our updates hearts UI. Let's go ahead and set this on up. So we're gonna go ahead and get an integer for the amount of full hearts, which is going to be our damageable dot, or our player damageable dot health, and we're gonna divide that by 2. That's because we're using the full hearts. So we only need basically the health divided by 2's full hearts. So that also means we need to have an even number of health at all times. So instead of going, when I increase the health for the player, instead of going from 10 to 11, we're going to obviously go 10 to 12. Just basically adding another heart, or you can maybe even have 11 where it's set to a full heart, but that's an integer, so we'll see some funny business with that. So Boolean has half heart. This is going to basically just tell us if the health is basically able to be divided by 2. So this is where come on now. It really does not like auto-correcting like that. So this is basically going to tell us if we want to put a half heart instead of it. So if the health is odd, then we're going to put a half heart basically at our spot. So then int max hearts is going to equal to the player damageable dot max health, and divide that by 2. Alright, so we're finally ready to get on actually updating our UI. So simply, we're just going to go through each, let's see, each image in our hearts array, like that, and basically enable, disable, or change the sprite. So we'll say if I is less than max hearts. Alright. So let's go ahead and get this set up. So hearts at I is going to equal enabled, or not equal enabled, dot enabled equals true. So, if we want to add more health, like create a maximum health you can have in the game, because for this game, I'm not really thinking we're going to be able to keep scaling the health all the way up. So, let's see. Maybe we have 5 hearts right now, and that represents our health. Maybe the maximum amount of health you can get in the game is going to be 10. So let's go ahead and make a total of 10 hearts that you could see. Like so. So if we go to the game, we have 10 hearts, and I will be fixing the spacing, but just for now, in simplicity's sake, we're going to just let it be. So, if we go to hearts at I is enabled, then what we need to do, come back here and see how I handled this earlier. If I is less than the amount of full hearts, then we're going to set hearts at I, and we're going to set its sprite to the full heart. So basically, if I is less than the amount of full hearts that we need, which is just half the health, that means that our health has not dropped below that point, so we're going to draw a full heart there. Next, else if I is equal to full hearts, and we have a half heart, then we're going to set hearts at I dot sprite is equal to a half heart. And then finally, else if hearts at I so basically this else is going to basically mean that our I is less than the amount of full hearts we should have, so we want to set it to an empty heart. Alright, cool. And then, so then we have up here, if I is equal to less than max hearts. If not, then else we're going to want to simply disable the heart. So this is actually going to, since we have player health of 10 set currently, this is why we're going to only see 5 hearts. So I actually like that. Thank you, old me, for writing this on out. Makes it nice and easy to implement. But yeah, if you guys want any of these sensitive codes, by the way, feel free to let me know. I will try to help out as best as I can if you guys are doing game dev as well. So we have 5 hearts. So next up, what we got to do is actually go in here. So number of hearts, we get 10. And then the player, we're going to drag our player object in here. And hearts, we're basically going to just create a list of 10 objects. So element number 9, and just simply tie each element like so. This is a little the tedious part, but no one said making games is quick. And finally, last but not least, let's go in here, go to health, and we're going to put the full heart sprite, half heart sprite, and empty heart sprite. Alright, so let me go ahead and save that game scene for us, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Alright, that did not seem to work. Let's see why. Well, let's see actually what happens when I take damage. Go here. Health. Oh, that's obviously why, because when I was bugging earlier, I set to the max health and the health to 100. That is always the fun part. Okay, so now we have 5 hearts like so. And if we go run towards a zombie and purposely get hit, we should see that health UI update. I also know a zombie should be coming this way, and mind punching. Yep, so we're going down by half hearts per punch, like so. Very simple. And we can run with a half heart. I'm gonna slap this guy, like so, and there's that. Okay. There are some zombies hitting that. We're gonna slap you guys dead. Oh, and I walked in front of his punching. Very nice. Well, there we go. There is a simple health UI implemented. So simply, let's go ahead back here, and bam, health bar is checked off. It's as simple as that. If you really easy to do that. Get a little dopamine release when you check off things. It's very good for keeping yourself productive. Let's see how long we've been streaming for. 2 hours, 16 minutes. Is there anything else I want to tackle today? You can always do main menu or the pause screen, because I do have a script for a pause screen already set up. So might as well. So I promise in the future it's going to be a lot more, what's it called? It's going to be a lot more like me doing research, and hopefully you guys getting either, if you've already done it, refreshers, or if you're curious, learning alongside me. That's kind of the purpose of the lab, to really just research into things, develop stuff together, and just kind of hopefully, do I stream every day? I sometimes do stream. Like right now, I haven't really come up with a schedule. For instance, on this weekend, I will be away. Probably won't be able to stream on Saturday or Sunday, and maybe just a small stream on Friday. Usually, how it is, it's 3 o'clock my time. I usually start streaming at 1, at least that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days, but some days I'm going to start earlier, some days I might not be able to stream. Oh my gosh, sorry, I got some people chatting in the Twitch stream, and I'm pretty sure we got some, oh, here we go. Thank you, NASA Passport. I'm guessing that's Will. They're making me laugh. They're some of my buddies that we play games with. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I usually start streaming at around 1 p.m. and try to work on at least 2 hours a day of the game. This will fluctuate right now. I actually just started all of this last week, so I'm really trying to figure things out. That's why the microphone's also not the best. I will definitely be soon investing into a better microphone, make you guys have better sounding stream. But we will definitely keep going at it. So, Chronix, just to explain kind of the lab, and anybody else. Oh yeah, absolutely. Just to explain how my streams kind of work is I have 2 sections of the channel called the lab and the lounge. The lab is meant for research, game dev, programming, looking into technologies. For instance, an upcoming lab stream, I was kind of told by some senior engineers to start looking into upstream projects that kind of have interest in me, so we might start diving into some open source projects, trying to identify some stuff that might be helpful for implementing, and just kind of working together. If there's some open source project that interests you guys, we can let me know. We can go start looking into it. For instance, for my video editing purposes, I use Kdenlive. That is a free and open source project. And I've also dabbled with some other open source stuff. So definitely want to start contributing to those type of communities. I believe open source is always beneficial. mainly the lab. Also, will be game dev. I try to do game dev every single day that I'm not away from my computer. Just to start fleshing out the game, really hold myself accountable. We'll start, like, one other lab stream, we'll do Rust, like looking into Rust, and maybe even looking into some microcontroller programming. I like working with the Raspberry Pi. And then the lounge, it usually happens later in the day, so I'll take a nice little break after I'm finished with the lab stream. Maybe go eat, go on a walk or something, and come back, and we'll play video games with some of my buddies usually. Just for warning, my buddies can be a little raunchy. Nothing like this stream, so you might see a distinct flip, kind of a polar opposite type of thing in those streams. They can say some pretty outlandish stuff, some offensive stuff, but it's all in fun and games, just making each other laugh. Kind of just boys will be boys. You know how it is. Oh, you have Raspberry Pi too? Yeah, awesome. I dove down the rabbit hole of retro gaming a little bit ago. Saw a Raspberry Pi 5, got one of those, and didn't realize, I was like, oh my god, this is a small purpose general mini computer. I wonder what else I can do with it. So I got a Raspberry Pi Pico W and actually created a small little application. Actually, that is a video I'm gonna go record tonight and release that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm gonna record a video on the Raspberry Pi, basically a kind of where to get started. I like to do a where to get started videos, not like showing you how to do stuff. What about ESPs? I have not heard of ESPs. Let's go look into what those are. Are they a form of microcontroller? Oh, ESP microcontroller, here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. Low cost, low power system on chip. Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah, here's a ESP32. I've also worked with the FPGA boards my time in college. Those are pretty fun to work with. Those are a little bit more hefty than these microcontrollers, of course, but we designed systems in Quartus. Like, for our general purposes, it was really cool doing system programming. I actually made a CPU decoder, like an assembly instruction decoder that would interact with the FPGA board there. That was pretty fun. A lot of work, though. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi 3. Oh, yeah, that's actually what the Pico has as well. If I go here, they have they're like $4 USD. And if we go to the Pico 2, they have wireless chip added. That's what I have, so I actually have it interacting with my local network. Raspberry Pi 3s, I haven't actually, the only pleasure I've had with interacting with the Raspberry Pi is the Raspberry Pi 5. RetroPie, that's exactly what I did for putting it on there. It was really cool, but it wasn't really optimized for the Raspberry Pi 5 yet. I think they're constantly developing that as well. Played some like old PS1 games. I wanted to get into the Resident Evils and such, but that was pretty fun. Okay. But if you guys are interested in sticking around for the lounge stream, you might get some laughs out of it. Or you might be like, what the hell are these guys doing? We're playing probably Sea of Thieves today. We've been on a big Sea of Thieves grind. We just started. A lot of fun. We are getting into shenanigans. Somehow we find ourselves in the worst scenarios possible. And we've played, I think, for 6 hours, 2 days in a row, and only came away with like 1 hour's worth of work. So, it's always fun. But yeah, I'm trying to think, do I want to go ahead and implement a pause system, basically stopping time.delta time? Maybe. Also, I am going to go ahead and pull up this. I am in the process of making a Discord. I will go ahead and put out that link for you guys if you want to go ahead and join it. This is just going to be a general channel Discord. Putting that in... Oh, that's not... What's it called? That's not correct. Invite. Not that. Copy that. I think the invite link might be broken. Okay, let me try copying that. For some reason that's highlighting. Let's see. I'll have to go in here to paste it. For some reason it's saying when I copy it, it says hidden use copy button, and I'm using the copy button. Let's edit the invite link. Expires after never. Max number of uses, no limit. Generate a new link. What the hell? What the hell, Discord? Patrick, what are you asking? Let's see, let me try pulling up Discord here. Oh, you're good. You're good. Let's see. I gotta get Discord pulled up in the web browser because for some reason, it's not wanting to work. Okay. Alright. Now we got the link. I had to go on the internet. I'll go ahead and send you guys that link. If you want to go ahead and join that, it's not set up yet. I will constantly be working on that. I plan on actually setting that up tonight, getting some channels announcements and stuff, but basically you can go not that overview. Alright, there's that. Yeah, should be able to join that on up. Absolutely, if you want to help out, I'll definitely give you some admin permissions. Trying to set it up, my buddy, who also streams, he sent me his, kind of, like, layout, like so. We might set it up like this, but we're going to break it down into the lab and lounge. I don't know if any of you guys are a fan of Pirate Software. I know he's a little... Apparently he's controversial right now. But... yeah. We're going to try to set it up where you can, like, select what portions you want to join, because obviously the group in the lounge might be a little bit different than the group in the lab. Some people are not going to be very keen to game dev and research into software, and some people are not going to be too keen in some craziness that happens in the lounge. But I want to make sure everybody it's disclosed that those are going to be two separate entities. But yeah, also are on Twitch if you are curious. Nice and fun over there, but that's usually for gaming. I like YouTube for the lab. Okay, well, let's see. I'll go ahead and start setting up the pause menu while we're at it, because why not? So let's go create an empty. We're going to call this pause menu. Alright, let's go see what this looks like. Got hearts that way. We need to increase the speed so we can see this whole canvas, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. And we got pause menu pulled up over here. So how this works is we have a script tied to the pause menu. So we're going to do a pause menu script. Let's see. Just going to drag that in the script. Going to have to reload that domain. Let me see this. Okay. Reload that. Some finicky stuff. I should probably set creation of scripts to automatically point to this scripts folder, but haven't even looked into really how to do that yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a public game object pause menu and not a second pause menu, but we want a public static boolean is pause. Because this actually, I think we can access the pause menu is paused boolean from other scripts, which is quite nice. So we're going to do a on start pause menu is false, because we do not want this pause menu enabled. In fact, this does the same exact thing as if you said pause menu dot enabled to false. Using the function, I guess, is better, but whatever. So next, let's see, we can have a public void pause game function. And this is simply going to set our pause menu to true. And we're going to do a time.timescale is equal to 0f. So basically we're just pausing time in the game. This will interact with Unity systems, freeze everything that's going on basically, including our time.delta time scripts and like our navigational system. So after we pause the game, we're obviously going to want to be able to resume the game. And here, we're kind of just going to do the exact opposite. So false, 1, and false. Just like so. So we can have a few more things as well, such as while we're paused, we're going to want to be able to quit the game. We don't want to force things, so we'll just do application.quit. So this is going to actually be tied to buttons and such. So we're going to do a public void on pause button click. We're going to do an input action callback context. I'm using Unity's input system, so that's where that comes from. And then once the context is started, basically, if we are paused, then we're going to simply resume game. Else, we're going to pause game. And why public is not valid for this item? All right, so we're going to remove that because these are going to. Why is this not valid? That's my question. Oh. Oh, that makes so much sense. Love some nice whatever they did to Visual Studio. Alright. Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me zoom on in. Sorry, didn't even think about the actual visuals. But yeah, here's this. So this is for pausing the game. It's very basic. I think I even might have gotten this from a YouTube video or like some tutorials online and whatnot. But basically what we're doing is if we go to Unity, go to the pause menu, we're going to have a pause menu thing, and we're going to actually drag this in here, and this is going to by default be disabled. And when we're going to have if we go to player, and we go to our player input, this is using Unity's input system, in events, UI, device is lost, we can see some player things as such. So we're going to go ahead and go into our input app system actions. So if you've never used Unity's input system, there's some basic things such that they already give you, especially in Unity 6, that's what we're using. We can move around, look around, attacks, interacts, and such. So what we're going to actually do is add a new action, and we're going to call this pause. And this is a button type, and like so. So we don't need a value from this, we just actually need an interaction button. So we want to have a binding for this, and this is going to be a keyboard and mouse binding, so we check that. And next up, we can even just click listen, and I'm going to press escape. Oh, can't. So we're just going to put escape, because you can't actually press escape because it will close out of it. Kind of funny. We'll save that. And so now, if we go back to player input, so this behavior, you can have multiple behaviors. I specifically like using invoking Unity events. Sending messages will call basically any of the functions that you set, like any, it will send out a broad to all the scripts if you have any functions called like on move or something. But here I'll show you that. So invoking Unity events, you can actually specifically choose what functions to call. That's the callback context. So for instance, pause, we're going to add a new one, and actually we're going to drag our pause menu in. And we are going to take our pause menu and access the script on pause button click. So there we go. So now we have our escape key binded to our pause menu function, which we just wrote, which if we go here, if our context is started, if we are paused, then we're going to resume the game, which means we're going to disable the pause menu, set the time scaling back to 1, and disable the static bool called isPaused. And if we're not already paused, then we're going to pause the game, and that will actually stop the time scaling. So it's simply if we right now went into the game and pressed escape, we basically any physics things would stop because time has stopped. Our zombies would stop moving. I don't think we'd be able to move the player because we are interacting with the rigid body, but the animations would still work. So pausing that time scale, if you already have like the animation set up to like work when you press a button or something like that, that is going to still work. Pausing the time scale is just kind of going to pause like the physics of the game. But what we're also going to want to do is add some cool things here. So what we're going to do is go back to here, UI, and we're going to make a button. So if you haven't used the UI before, hold on, sorry, I got a viewer bot on Twitch, and we always got to report these bots. I am not a big fan of bots, so we're gonna do a new bot. He's selling some views, and we're gonna block the user. Okay. Yeah. And luckily, AutoMod Got it. So what we're doing here is there's Text Mesh Pro. This is basically this is going to have how you have text in the game. Basically, you're going to need to import Text Mesh Pro for UI. If you don't, then any text you want in the game, you're probably going to have to make like a sprite image or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and import Text Mesh Pro. They don't do it by default, which is okay because some people don't actually want to have to be able to write text in their game. We don't need any examples or extras. So if we go here, now we have a text in Text Mesh Pro. So I'm going to change this, and we're going to pause this. Resume game. If we fly on close, we cannot see that. Oh, that's why, because this is disabled. There we go. So there is our button. And if we want to go here, you can always mess around with this. See anchors. We're going to 200 by 50. That looks fine to me. Text Mesh Pro. Text style, normal. Font asset. You have some fonts in here. I actually have a font that I like. Let me go ahead and drag that. Oh, I gotta unzip the file first. Extract all. Like so. And we're gonna drag that on here. And look at that! We got another font. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna literally just font asset. How do we make a font asset? I've never done this before. I am learning as we go along. So we're gonna do font material, font texture. Weird. Let's try creating a Text Mesh Pro font asset. And we want FSTF. Okay. I had to select the file, so let's try that again. There we go! Look at that. Figuring stuff out on the fly. And there is our retro gaming font. Just makes it look nicer, like it a little bit better. So yeah. There is our resume game button. And, oh, not like that. We're going to grab our button and move that up as well. Just like so. Copy, paste that. We're going to call this resume. And we're going to call this main menu. And then make another button. Oh, shit. Make another button, like so. Call this main menu again. Enter. And we're going to call this pause. Or not pause, quit. Alright, so let's grab that. Drag that below it like that. Drag that down like so. Alright, so resume. So how buttons work in Unity? It's kind of the same as the player input. We're invoking Unity events. So basically we just hit the add event. Pause menu, go to the pause menu, and that's not good. Let's see. So why is that not working? Let me see if there's something that I'm missing, which there might be. Runtime only function, game object. Oh, here it is. That's weird. Because it's not callback context. So here they are. I just glanced over it. So resume is just gonna go to resume game. Main menu. We're going to go ahead and drag that back in there. Pause menu, and we're gonna go to. There should be a main menu, right? It might have not made a main menu, so that's gonna do nothing for now. And this is going to, of course, tie to our quit function, which is right there. Okay, cool. Cool. And finally, last not but least, let's go in here. And we're going to go to main menu and quit game. Alright, so we have a basic pause menu. These buttons are literally just going to pop up on screen. So if we go into game, let me just make sure this pause menu script is working out correctly. So on start, it's just going to disable it. Alright, that should work. And let's go ahead and press play. And so we're gonna, okay, there we go. We can move around in our game. There's our cursor object. We can equip things. We're gonna run out and try to find a zombie real quick. I know where one's coming from. Should be coming from over here. Yep, and now we're gonna press pause. See, everything stops. Press pause again. Hit resume game like so. And that quit game is gonna call application.quit. So once you build the game, that will quit the game, close out of the application. But since we're in Unity's editor, it won't. And so it's there, you see? That's what we added earlier, by the way, is once we are in its aggro zone, it will follow us, but we can run away out of its de-aggro zone. And I am sure that this is getting fucked up right now. Bam. And if you're wondering why they're clumped up together, it's because if we go to the scene and go zoom in on a zombie, like so, their actual hitboxes were causing problems, like their attack zones was causing problems when it comes to this. So I just, for now, made it bigger. It's okay to do little short fixes like that. Oh, and we just died. Let me go ahead and hit pause. Yeah, so there we go. We got some basic UI set up, guys. The zombies are attacking the goal. They'll be, they're working pretty well. Alright, and I have been on here for 2 hours, 47 minutes. I want at least to get 2 hours on the game per stream. Usually how I start out these streams is I will actually, yeah, since you guys weren't watching earlier, I'll go ahead and show you kind of what I start off the streams with. I don't know if you've heard of this. If you are a junior engineer or looking to strengthen any algorithm skills and whatnot, you have a technical interview coming up. You're a advanced developer, but you have a technical interview, or you just care about algorithms. There is this product called AlgoExpert. If you're not looking to spend any money, then I wouldn't recommend it. I got this for a year subscription for like $100 on Black Friday. It's called AlgoExpert. I am not sponsored or affiliated at all. Obviously, I am too small for that. They will basically teach you all these algorithms. So I start off the stream usually by tackling one of these problems. I'm going in order from easy to medium to hard to very hard. If you want to look like what one of those easies are, is literally like transposing a matrix, finding the closest value in the BST. So this is kind of like what it does. These are just basically meant for practicing. But here you go. Here's the implementation. This is actually just Breadth First Search, or BST. This is a little bit better, in my opinion, than LeetCode because it's not making you think of the questions as specific questions, but you're learning the general algorithms that LeetCode questions, HackerRank questions are built around. So you'll be able to tackle stuff like that. Okay. Well, let's see if there's anything else I feel like tackling today. Let me go ahead and pull this back up. Okay. So basic pause menu, done. Actually did stop the animations, interestingly enough, too. So maybe that time scale is now affecting the... Actually, I wonder if we can move around. That's the one thing I think I remember, was I was able to interact with the inputs. So we might have to, in our input on like call functions, set that we can access that pause menu on static. Actually, no, it does nothing. Yeah, can't move around. That's good. I'm happy that they actually adjusted that, just for simplicity's sake. Okay, cool. Pull back OBS. Alright, and then go back to here. Pause, currently equipped items. Not going to do that quite yet, because I want more equipped items. Basic inventory. That's going to be a little bit rougher. Wave system, we actually have to set the wave systems. The main menu, that's going to be a completely separate scene, so that's going to probably be final hurdle. Actually, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do final hurdle, because I'm going to implement all this stuff into this one scene, sample scene, and save it as prefabs. You need to make sure you save it as prefab so you could easily convert it between scenes. And yeah, so I think I am going to end it there. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to check out the lounge stream later tonight, or come back around the same time tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow, I think my plan right now is, the only reason I started so late is because I stayed up pretty late last night playing Sea of Thieves. I'm going to try to go to bed a little earlier and get the stream started around maybe 11 here, which if, for time scale, it's 3:39 here, so for that, so probably like 11, and then probably stream to around 3 for the lab section. I'm going to tonight. What time is the lounge streams? That usually happens around 6-ish, but I also, just for some things right now, I do online deliveries, like using DoorDash, like those apps and such, from 5:30 to 8:30 a lot of the times. So tonight, I think it might be around 8:30-ish, and then we'll probably go to like 11 or 12. Last time we had a guy over on Twitch join us. He is actually a professional game developer, believe it or not. He was just a Sea of Thieves fan. And I started talking about the lab streams, and it was pretty interesting. So you could also, if you want to head over there during the lounge streams, he may join, may not. He might lurk. Might talk about some game stuff, but highly doubt it. But yeah, I think we're going to end it there. Look out for Discord. I'll be trying to communicate on there a little more while I'm setting it up. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a nice little break. I know tonight I might go record a little Raspberry Pi video real quick. Or get that in setting up. But feel free to hang around and look out for that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And I like to end the streams. This is it, knows what I'm talking about, with a little something, at least in the live streams. You guys always remember, the good is out there. It's just one step away. Alright, you guys take care.